Have you ever wondered how someone can be one of the most famous singers in Britain for more than 60 years, and yet remain one of the most mysterious people in the entire music industry? That's the quiet puzzle behind Cliff Richard. Millions know his songs. Millions watched him on television. But the man behind the microphone spent decades carefully protecting a part of himself that the public never truly saw. It all started in 1958 with a song called Move It. The rhythm was bold. The energy felt new. And suddenly a young performer named Cliff Richard exploded onto British radio. At the time, Britain didn't really have its own rock and roll hero. Then Cliff appeared, clean-cut, polite, charming. Within months he was everywhere, television shows, films, teen magazines. Some even called him Britain's Elvis. But unlike the wild rock stars that followed, Cliff's image was carefully polished. Friendly enough for teenagers, respectable enough for their parents. That image wasn't an accident. Producers and managers understood something powerful: if Cliff stayed scandal-free, he could last longer than any rebellious star. And Cliff accepted the deal. He followed strict schedules. He avoided controversy. He rarely spoke about his private life. To the public, he became the perfect gentleman of pop music. By the 1960s, Cliff Richard wasn't just a singer. He was a symbol of modern British culture. When he represented the United Kingdom at the 1968 Eurovision Song Contest with the song Congratulations, the choice made sense. He was safe. Reliable. Trusted. But that safety came with a cost. The more perfect his image became, the less room there was for a normal life behind it. Then something interesting happened in the 1970s. While many rock stars chased trends, Cliff did the opposite. He slowed down. He leaned into faith, positivity, and consistency. His music carried hopeful messages, and his reputation grew even cleaner. Yet the silence around his personal life grew louder. He never married. He rarely discussed relationships. Reporters asked questions, but answers never came. For decades Cliff lived in two parallel worlds. On stage, he was the smiling icon everyone recognized. Off stage, he kept his life intensely private, often retreating to his home in Barbados away from British media. Some admired his discipline. Others became suspicious. Why so much silence? Everything changed on August 14, 2014. Police searched Cliff Richard's home in Berkshire while television helicopters broadcast the scene live across the country. For the first time in his career, the carefully controlled image shattered overnight. Cliff wasn't even home when it happened. After 2 years of investigation, authorities announced there was no basis for prosecution. Legally, the case was closed. But reputations don't recover as easily as court files. Cliff later sued the media organization that aired the search and won the case, receiving damages for invasion of privacy. Yet the experience left scars. For a man who had protected his private life for half a century, the boundary had finally been broken. And still, Cliff Richard kept doing what he had always done. He continued making music. Touring. Appearing in public with that same calm smile. Because perhaps the real lesson of his story isn't about secrets at all. It's about control. In a world obsessed with knowing everything about celebrities, Cliff Richard quietly proved something rare: you can give the world your art without giving away your entire soul. And if stories like this, where fame hides deeper human truths, capture your curiosity, then staying subscribed might be the best way to keep discovering the remarkable lives behind the spotlight.